Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the Crushing Through Life podcast. My name is Rob, and with me is my friend Jim. How's it going, buddy?
Not too bad. Rob, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just want to let everyone know that we're up and running live on Instagram right now. We have an Instagram account, Crushing Through Life. Find us up on there. Please follow us, and you'll get some extra additional memes and content from us. And you can even just see what our story is all about on social media. So, Jim, you just had a birthday.
I did. I'm at my highest ever age in this lifetime, 33.
33, amazing.
Yeah. So actually, I've been saying this for a long time with specifically our group of friends, but it's kind of actually for now. It's been a while for you and I, but I've known my friends, a lot of them, longer than I haven't known them, and I think that's really cool. Because it was such a huge important part of my life, and the same group of friends from high school really is still an important part of my life, massive, in fact, especially in the last year. But pretty cool. A second COVID birthday, unfortunately. Hopefully we're out of the woods by the time yours rolls around. But it's still really cool, and honestly, to have everyone still take the time and reach out. That a friend of ours, uh, Greg, it's his birthday the day after mine, and he
Yes.
has never once failed to call me at midnight. Even from when we were young, he used to walk up to me on the schoolyard and wish me happy birthday. He's been doing that for, I think I met Greg when I was 4, so
That's amazing.
crazy 3 decades of being friends with him. So pretty cool.
Attaboy. That's awesome. What did you end up doing on your birthday stuck at home?
Um, yeah, kind of change of plans. My
Okay.
mom was supposed to come.
Yep.
She didn't end up coming, and ended up at a buddy's place. First time we left the house. I know it's maybe frowned upon, but first time we left the house, and maybe only the third time I've left the house this year.
Right.
So um, yeah, I mean, it was again, it was just fun to get out and not socially distance, hang out with somebody else for a little bit. That was
Right.
pretty
But I
cool.
mean, I don't think it's necessarily frowned upon. I think if you pick and choose the people that you do want to hang out with, even though that we are in a bit of a lockdown, we know that most of us are working from home. You could always ask the question, is everything is everything kosher with your with your
Right.
with your household and all that? And then, like, for example, actually, my son was playing outside, and he was playing with our neighbors. Our neighbors, they've been working from home, and their kids are now are back home as well, and they all have the masks on and whatever. But they invited us in for coffee, and I actually hopped inside and chatted him with a little bit, and it was nice. It was nice to, like, talk to somebody and be in a different household for sure, even though that we're not necessarily supposed to do that. But, like, he was my neighbor. He lives right beside me, and I know he works from home, and I work from home, and we both don't really go out and socialize with a lot of people. So, you know, um, it is what it is that way.
You're lucky to have that. Some people that live more isolated don't have that option at all. I think Jess and
Hmm.
I were so the one side. So actually, these neighbors right here on this side, like to my our right,
Yeah.
we have no chance of like really ever communicating with them. We don't even know what's going on at their house. Every week recycling, they put out a bag of shredded paper every week. I don't know how you can have that much shredded paper. Um, it doesn't make any sense. In the middle of winter, like the snowbanks are piling up overnight, and there's just bags of shredded paper. But
Amazing. Oh, wonder what's
yeah,
going
it's
on over there.
so weird. And we don't ask. And then the couple on the other side is actually closer to our age. They have a dog, but we never really got super close with them. And I kind of wish we had because, like you said, it's they're in the same battle. Like I know they don't have people over. We don't have people over. It could just be somebody that we could literally jump across to their backyard. They can come over to ours and just hang out for 15 minutes, and it's people that we get to see, especially not having
Yeah.
a car.
Hmm.
But I guess it's tough too. Like I don't even know how they feel about me petting their dog or what they think I do, day in and day out, and what I think. But anyway. So you're lucky to kind of have that, to share with somebody else, because just any sort of human connection is pretty valuable, I think, at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like for my son, he needs it too, right? He's growing, and he can't be boxed up too much, even though we do protect him from going outside. Like if we ever need to go pick up groceries, we keep him home, whatever we can do. But if he has a chance to play with my neighbor's kid, and I know they're fine, it's something that we allow,
Right.
essentially, right?
Yep.
We can be careful, but we also need to live our lives a little bit. Speaking of living our lives a little bit, I actually missed. I actually missed our daily quote,
Yeah,
or
you
I
went
guess
straight to the
our
birthday.
quote.
So
Yeah, I went straight to the birthday.
which is much appreciated. That was very kind.
Of course,
Yeah.
you deserve the acknowledgement.
Thanks.
Priorities. Our quote today comes from Henry David. Oh man, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, aren't I? Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau. He's an American philosopher. He says, "If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them," which I love that quote. That's a great quote. You have all these ideas that you've already built in your mind and you are feeling overwhelmed. You just need to start building the foundations underneath them, get started, right? Do whatever you need to do to put work into those goals and ideas that you have in your life that to achieve whatever you need to do to achieve, right?
Yeah, interesting way of thinking about it. As that almost sounds like the opposite of putting the cart before the horse. Like
Sure.
in this, he's saying that's okay, but well, he's not. But that you still do need to have things working. But maybe that you could have the cart first and have the horses later. I don't know. Bad example maybe, but interesting way of thinking about it for sure. That
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not too late to build those fundamentals or continue working on it, whatever it is.
For sure. So man, last week I was talking about that work presentation.
Yeah, that's right.
So I had this IT security PowerPoint presentation I had to present in front of our entire company, which I was honestly going to vomit over because I was so nervous the
Right.
whole time working on it. I was like, oh no, this is going to be the worst. But actually, I ended up acing it, and I did a really good job, and I got a lot of compliments from coworkers and even my boss, which was amazing. Even a few emails that came in
That's awesome, man.
that said, you did a great job. Loved your presentation. I actually learned a few things. Thank you. And a couple of text messages where I was overwhelmed. I was surprised by the response. And like going back to the previous episodes that we talked about where I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is based on IT security. It has really sparked that interest in me a lot more. And I really want to get started on that. I was like, hearing all these compliments and comments on my presentation, it's like, at first you're worried, like I have all those things I can talk about, but you get like what's called the imposter syndrome. You decide to start something that you want to talk about. These are important topics that you can talk about, but you have this fear that you're going to sound like you don't know what you're talking about, right? But just like this podcast, you're going to start from the bottom and work your way up. I mean, us like going back to our first few episodes, we hear each other, and I think over time our flow is going to get better and better as these episodes go on. In fact, I think even the podcasting that we've done has even made my public speaking easier and made this presentation a lot more like, I guess, I don't know, worthwhile to listen to with my presentation skills in public speaking. So I was nervous, but yeah, apparently I aced it.
That's awesome, man. And it's so cool. Now that you're hungry for more too, right? Like you get that sort of the pat on the back, and just confirmation that you did do a good job. Because I'm not sure how your work is, but I know if I gave a presentation at mine, I don't really think that from multiple sources, I would hear back, "Hey, great job, I learned something." Because like you said, I mean, the imposter syndrome. I've never heard that before, actually, but
Hmm.
you could like, for instance, you have tons of IT knowledge, but maybe you're afraid of your presenting skills on how to transfer that knowledge to somebody else, and you just got confirmation that you do a good job.
Hmm.
So that's got to be great, right there, in terms of just a little bit of confidence to get you started. Obviously, you said that it sparked you, which is great, and you should definitely feel the fire while you got it.
Yeah, man. I was talking to Terry about it, and then she was like, well, you have all these comments that are coming in about the work that you've done with your presentation. This is going to translate to your YouTube channel. And this is exactly what you are going to be putting out there in the world, and what you're going to receive with the content that you're going to be presenting to the universe, right? Like I know this stuff. I can present it. It's just like a matter of doing it,
Hmm.
and then getting over the fear of it being, I guess, poor quality,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Is that's the main fear, but everyone starts off garbage, and then it gets better over time. So
Well,
you know,
practice makes perfect. It's
yeah.
it's such a common statement, but it is true. Whatever it is you're working on,
Hmm.
you are going to get better over time, even if it's something that you haven't done in a while, but you were good at. You still have to go back and practice, or you just have to keep continuing to work on it.
For
If you
sure.
just if you don't present something for a long time, you can't just get up there and smoothly do it the way that you once did in the past,
Mhm.
right? So I mean, it's cool that you're taking stuff away from this because I certainly have as well. I don't necessarily do public speaking. I guess I run some meetings, and it definitely does help with confidence. But you know, I think it's great that you found that in yourself, and Spark is the best part about that.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely lit the fire for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Um, so speaking about the podcast, um, not that it matters to anyone listening to us right now, but through Anchor, our Anchor.fm platform that we use. In fact, if anyone's listening right now that is looking to start a podcast, I highly recommend this platform. It's fantastic. Looking at our analytics, we have reached some countries, man. Canada, US, Venezuela, Australia, Germany, Sierra Leone, like anyone who's listening from those countries I just listed, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
listening.
Yeah,
That is
wow.
amazing. We are so shocked when we saw these, like,
It's been a lot of
oh
fun.
wow.
I know you say you
Yeah,
check it. You wake up, you check it every morning. You send me
it's
a picture. Dude, we hit Venezuela somehow. We're in Australia. We're on the other
yeah,
side of the world. That it's really really cool. It's been a lot of fun. I don't even know how they're
yeah.
finding us. I mean, obviously, hashtags and whatever they can get it, but it's pretty crazy. It's yeah, it's like I said, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think for podcasts, it's mainly hashtags. Obviously, if you found us through Instagram, please let us know. I'd like to know how you have reached us. I mean, outside obviously of our friends and family that we've shared this podcast to, it's pretty cool to see that these countries that we don't know anybody there and they're listening. So either they're finding us through Instagram or they're finding us through the search engine of these podcast platforms. Could be Spotify. We've also went live on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, which is huge. I mean, Apple Podcasts is a big market for people who do listen to podcasts. And then just yesterday, I put us up on Stitcher, which is like the Android podcast search engine. So
Very cool.
pretty
The
cool, man.
expansion.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I try to reach, but podcasting is a little different. If you're releasing video, typically you would just go to YouTube,
Mm.
right? You just upload your video to YouTube. It's what's one source, but with podcasting, it's like there are multiple, let's say, quote unquote, search engines, quote unquote, YouTubes, right?
Yep.
That are just like you got to upload these episodes to every single platform, and Anchor.fm does that for you. But a couple that I had to do manually, which is Amazon Music and Stitcher and all that. So to be on those all the major platforms, I don't think I'm missing any anymore. To get that bigger audience and reach, it's really cool to see that at work, right?
I guess the only thing to say is like it's not the platform, obviously, but we have switched. You got us on a new recording. We're no longer on Zoom.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. If you're listening to this episode right now, episode 15, our previous episodes, they were recorded on Zoom. We've had some like audio issues
A
and
little bit of
compression
robotic.
issues, a little bit of robotics, some quality issues. We're using a new platform right now called Riverside.fm, and it is supposed to upload the raw video and audio files rather, at the end of our recording. So hopefully everything sounds great to you guys in this episode compared to our previous. Um, and we're doing a trial free hour right now, so we'll see what happens, and we'll let you know next episode if we decide to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah,
so far it looks pretty cool. Again, everything that we tried out, it's just fun to kind of sample around with this stuff, like Anchor FM. And it turned out we just hit the jackpot. Like that was a great find.
yeah,
And yeah, we'll see how this one plays out.
for sure. And then just kind of talking about tech continued. Um, was thinking about fitness tech last week, and a lot of things in our lives that we use to track ourselves, right?
Right.
So I was looking into like my Fitbit, for example, um, and I was thinking like, well, I should talk about this on the podcast. I think that there are a lot of fitness gadgets and tech these days for staying in fit and tracking fitness, which is absolutely fantastic. And I think is a requirement these days. Um, if you really want to stay on top of your game, I would say absolutely you don't need to. I mean, you can do a lot with just a scale, but the data that you get through wearing these devices and using these devices is unreal. Um,
Definitely, if you're looking for progress, right? It just helps
yeah,
you keep track from the beginning to here. If you want to better yourself in other ways, it's just so much easier. All the data's right there.
yeah. The history is definitely key. Um, my first uh, Bluetooth scale that I got, which I was actually surprised was very, very cheap. And I actually recommend that anyone who is looking into getting a scale or a digital scale, look at a Bluetooth scale. In fact, this company that I use, Renpho, Renpho, I recommended the scale to I think like 7 people now, and they've all bought it and they all love it. It's a very cheap scale. It's $40 Canadian on Amazon, shipped to your door. It's got its own internal battery. You can charge it via USB cable, and it syncs Bluetooth to your phone, and the battery lasts a very long time. It's usually like I would say 2 months, maybe 3 months until we have to charge it again. And my wife and I, we both use it. But what's cool about this scale, besides the fact that it's cheap, is that it syncs to its app, and its app has all of these analytical data that you can look back um, to throughout your entire body. So not just weight, right? It measures your BMI, your body fat, your fat-free body weight, subcutaneous fat, which I have no idea how it measures that, visceral fat, body water, skeletal muscle, muscle mass, bone mass, protein, BMR,
Whoa.
and metabolic age. And I'll just show it up to the camera right now. I don't know if you can see that in the
Oh yeah, it kicked in. Wow,
in
that's
the
really
uh, the
cool.
webcam.
Yeah.
Have all of these numbers here that
Well
I'm
done,
pulling in.
Riverside. Sponsor.
Yep. Yeah. and what's really cool is that you can see trends. Let's wait for the webcam to kick in there. You
Oh,
can
there
have
it is. Yeah,
trends,
that's really
right?
sweet.
And if I go throughout the year, right? This is when I was really at my highest, and it was just crushing.
Oh, look at that.
Just getting
Look at
rid of
that
my
progression.
diet.
See, and that's why I like it. I like to see, I've talked about the app that I use in the past. So that one's actually called Freeletics, which is just a workout app. And the times alone on there, really cool to see how I've progressed from 25 minutes to 18 to 16 to 15 to 14, and then it's like I'm trying to get 14 and whatever, maybe down to 13. I
Hmm.
love seeing that and knowing that I'm improving and working towards something.
Yeah, yeah, and it's something that I'm not. I mean, there's like, eh, I think the main fear and the worry about all this tech is that I guess it could be expensive, but I mean, if you're looking at a scale, it's only $40. It's not too terrible, right? Something
Yes,
like a Fitbit, however, can be expensive. The Fitbit that I wear is a Charge 3. That's the model that I currently have.
I have the
Um,
Charge 4 actually, a Christmas gift from
Jim's,
my mother and father-in-law.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's very nice. I
Yeah,
didn't. I talked about it before,
yeah,
that I didn't think I like it. I love it now. Even when
yeah,
I was complaining about it in the beginning, all the settings have been switched. I I enjoy, I the only time I'm not wearing it is in the shower, and I get out, I put it on right away. I don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
any motion has got to count.
You
At
gotta
this
track those steps, man.
at this point, I love it. I think it's pretty cool.
Oh, speaking of which, just me swailing my arms around.
You hit
Boom,
5K.
10,000
Oh yeah,
steps.
you're doing 10. Well done. Boom. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
man, the Fitbit's fantastic. The one that I bought, the Charge 3, I mean, I bought it brand new because the new feature, like when it first came out, the Charge 3, the best feature about this watch was that it had a 7-day battery life, which is ridiculous. So I love that. I love that you can just have this on for 7 days and you don't have to charge it within that amount of time. I used a smartwatch before the Fitbit, and that was the Samsung Gear S3, and that battery, you had to charge it like every night. It only lasted like 20 hours.
Mine's about seven days,
Yeah.
and I actually get lucky. I basically charge it while I'm playing poker on Sundays, and I play poker on Sundays for could be 10 hours to some days it's 14, and I don't move from this spot. Besides, I get a 5-minute break every hour. It sounds painful, but yeah, you just get used to it. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
moving around anyways. But by the time one break goes by and it's an hour period, it's almost charged anyway. And then I'm good for another week. Like it's great. I don't even lose steps because it charges so quickly and it actually stays forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty cool. And actually, so one of the things that I was looking for was because since we've been doing the weather's been nicer, is I love going rollerblading around, and I can just zip in and out of the neighborhood. There's a little track by a school near my house. Um, but I'm trying to get my steps also for this latest challenge that we've been doing. The problem is that it doesn't count because I guess I'm going too fast. So it doesn't think I'm walking. So I actually got another app called Runkeeper, and that one's pretty cool. You just hit start and you go, and so
Is that a
far
free app?
yeah, it was free, and so far it's been pretty cool. But actually, our friends were telling us about it today that there's this new feature. I didn't actually even get to read or like look into it, but wasn't he saying there's some cool army settings that you can put on it?
I think yeah, he was saying it was a drill sergeant voice.
Oh, it's drill sergeant. That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See, I'm gonna test that out for sure. I mean, I'm not running like the guys that we're doing a challenge with are doing crazy stuff. I'm not there yet,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I am curious to have this guy yell at me while I'm rollerblading
Keep running,
around.
maggot.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet.
The other app that I use as well, I guess it's not really a fitness app. It's more of a health app. Is Snore Lab, and I'm pretty sure I've talked. Yeah, I mean, obviously I talked about it in the previous hospital time episode when I did my septoplasty surgery.
Right.
Is Snore Lab, and that is an app that you can record yourself sleeping and play back if you are a snorer, if you have sleep apnea like I did, and it can actually it actually shows you a bunch of different graphs of when your peak times of snoring, and it has a heat map, and you can tell the app when you're about to go to sleep and what you've done to try to prevent your snoring, whether you use a nasal spray, mask, showered, etc., or even if you drank alcohol. You can enter that information too, and it's all cool to track because I tracked that before the surgery,
Hmm.
and then I'm now tracking it after, and it is quite the difference. Let me
Oh,
tell
that's
you,
really
it's
cool.
pretty
See,
insane.
and again, the progression, like I like seeing that. Especially that
Yeah,
obviously that surgery was worth it.
yeah. That's the reason why I wanted to track it too. Fitbit does the estimated oxygen level, so it's got an oxygen sensor. So you do sleep with it, with the watch on, and I don't even notice it on anymore. Like it's on all the time. It actually feels weird when I don't have my watch on. I've got to that point.
Hmm.
But with Snore Lab, you get the audio clips, right? So for me, like I said before, I have allergies. If I'm suffering from allergies and I do have a bad allergy day, you do you do tend to like hear the whistling, and the nose is like a little bit more congested. But even though I do have that issue, it's way better post surgery. So I'm very thankful that I got it done. Even during Like I mean, it was postponed, right, because of COVID, and then I finally got into a certain window that I was able to get it scheduled, and
Mhm.
then another lockdown happened. That was actually before the second lockdown.
Yeah, that was the second lockdown feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it does feel like forever ago.
So embarrassing.
um, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, like fitness tech. Keep talking about that. Uh, I talked about Just Dance. We're trying the free month trial of Just Dance Unlimited with my wife. She's absolutely loving it. In fact, she's doing it every day.
Nice.
I go out for my lunch break, and she's just crushing like a half-hour workout. Just doing Just Dance. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna be paying. I think it was like the $35 a year to get access to like 600 songs, and the songs that came with our Just Dance 2020 game got old pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
But man, it's going fantastic. She's like she has a Fitbit too, and she's tracking her fitness and exercises throughout all that, and posting them on her social media, and it's pretty cool, man. It's really motivating her to do a workout in.
Yeah.
On top of that, like even using YouTube, she's got a bunch of like workout videos that she follows on YouTube and throws them on the computer in our living room, and away you go, right?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It's
Yeah.
definitely contagious when you hear more and more people are working on it, and it's easy. You don't. And another thing is you don't need these things. Like you don't need a Fitbit. You don't need
Mm-hmm.
this. You could you could time yourself with a stopwatch or with your phone to do certain exercises. You don't like that's what I used to do before I had my app. I just like the app because I enjoy the structure of them planning a workout for me as
Sure.
opposed to me, kind of just fumbling around, not sure what to do. So, um, yeah, I mean, like obviously you don't need to spend any money, but I think the important thing is when you see somebody else working on it, working on their goals and making gains, as they say, like it's you want to improve yourself. It's not that hard, and it's healthier, and um,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of feel more involved. It's nice.
Absolutely. So we're coming to an end with our 30-day challenge.
That's right.
Yeah, we got 2 days left. I've been crushing,
Two
getting
days counting
10,000
today,
steps.
or 2 days.
2 days after to like starting tomorrow. 2 more days
Okay. Okay.
left in the challenge.
Right. All right.
Good. And I'm happy one of us is keeping track.
Yeah. Well, I know you do for me. So. I need the technology, man. I need.
You need to.
I need the technology.
uh, so like again, my goal is to get 10,000 steps a day. And one thing that I found is that's helping me a lot is geocaching, and I can't.
I feel like
I
you
hate.
mentioned it before.
I know. I hate saying it. And I also feel like we say this all the time. I think we mentioned this earlier in the podcast. It's like
I
we got to
think
keep a track
I
of
think
like
we
all
should
the things we
just
talk about.
I think we should just stop saying it and be unapologetic in our reiteration
I agree.
of certain
I
things.
agree.
It's not that we but we don't know. So it's not like I'm gonna remember every conversation with you ever. So
100%.
but anyways,
So
Rob, apparently
geocaching.
you like to geocache.
Geocaching
That's
is
what you're telling me.
fantastic. Yes, I am addicted to it. It's my new hobby, man. Like honestly, it's fantastic. Um, just to go out there in the world and find a box, like a scavenger hunt of things that are left behind. It's pretty cool, man. Like the first one I found was the one that was made by Girl Guides. You got they had bookmarks in there. They had pens and clips and all that. I showed my son one day. Like I walked by it again with my son, and like I told him there's a box in here. We got to find it, and he helped me find it, open it up, wrote our names in it. So I think one day I'll even like try to um, make one with him. I think that'd be pretty cool because there's not a lot near where we live, and there's a big park where we live.
Right.
So I think we can hide quite a few more spots. Um, but yeah, if anyone doesn't know what geocaching is, it's you can download an app on your phone, and using your phone's GPS, it'll show you a map of where you are in Google Maps, and it'll show you geocaches, which are like little boxes that people leave in the world. in your area. You can go walk and find them. They might be hidden in like a bush somewhere or a tree. And if you find them, you open it up and it's got things inside, right? You
Mhm.
can write your name, you can leave things behind, you can take things usually. It's got a whole community board. You can write notes about it. Like if a geocache is broken, you can tell the person who is the the owner of that geocache that they need to fix it, etc. So it's pretty cool, and it gets you out there, man. It gets you outside, it gets you walking, and it gets you exploring, which is pretty cool. So it's made my challenge, I would say, a little bit more fun, right? It gives me an excuse to go out there and do something to
Well,
get my 10,000 steps in.
on top of that, you had a pretty big weekend yourself with, you have a massive day. You and the family were out, cleaning up kinda your neighborhood because you have a gorgeous park right by your place. Was that this past weekend you guys did that?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You're talking about the community involvement with the
Right.
park cleanup. So we're part of a Facebook group in our neighborhood, which I think is like the only reason why I still have Facebook these days. Um,
Hey, let's
there's
be honest, there's a one thread with pictures of all our
Of
friends.
course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. But yeah, there's a neighborhood group that we're a part of, and our neighborhood is just we have a lot of construction happening with a new suburb right next door to our neighborhood, and all this garbage is being blown around. And I think it's due to the fact that a lot of like the garbage trucks, if there's a windy day, like stuff would just flow out of the garbage trucks and into our park, and our park was just covered in litter.
Mhm.
And of course, you have like terrible people too that'll just litter on the ground, bottles, water bottles, all that.
Yep.
And we actually, through this Facebook group, organized a community involved park cleanup where we actually had, I think, about 20, I would say 20 couples showed up in the neighborhood.
That's pretty
And we
good.
all got together. Obviously, social distancing, but getting the garbage bags. We got masks and pickers and all that, and we all just got involved and clean up the community. And man, honestly, it looks better. Like I go outside for daily walks, and the park looks amazing. There's a big long trench near our park for rainwater to go into, and it used to be just covered with garbage, and now there isn't any there. I mean, over time, for sure, it'll get dirty again with more litter. But right
Mhm.
now, it looks fantastic, and it's pretty cool. And we got our son involved. He had a great time. He was very super excited about it. 'Cause he actually watched I think watched a famous YouTube channel called Blippy for toddlers, and he talked about litter, right? So getting him involved in that was pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah, good
Yeah,
timing on that then. And it was a gorgeous
yeah.
day for it too, right? Like in the morning especially, wasn't it nice? If I recall.
Absolutely.
If you went on
Beautiful day.
Saturday.
It was like, yeah, it was like 20 degrees outside,
Yeah.
right? Not this week, unfortunately, but yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, no, it was, super foggy we went on a walk last night. Crazy. Um, the difference between like, it was literally night and day, yesterday in Hamilton anyway.
Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, our challenge is coming to an end. How are you doing so far? A couple more days to go on your end.
So, I mean, the idea of the challenge as well was, to hold us all accountable. So if you didn't hit a day, you just, owe money to the pod, et cetera. And there's a few days where things just worked out and I was too busy, couldn't get stuff done. But overall, I'm pretty happy. Held myself accountable for all my targets that I wanted to hit. I actually haven't hit mine yet for today, so I still got to do something after we pop off here. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was again very positive. Definitely just helping me keep a more consistent lifestyle in terms of healthier eating, making sure I'm not useless in the kitchen, helping Jess out even just with that. Still being active outside. I think the weather's just calling my name now anyways. Like I want to be out there rollerblading after work or going for walks with Jess or think about getting a bike maybe because she has a bike already. Actually, I think we have two that I could use. It's just not super. I don't know if it would fit me. Like kind of like a fold up bike. I don't know if I'd have to try it out. But I think it's been great. Another good month. Obviously not as intense as the last one, but how's it? How was it for you? Like obviously you're doing 10,000 steps a day, which is amazing. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to edit that out.
Man, I was dying.
Yeah, why didn't you wave?
I can't hear you. I messaged you on WhatsApp. I messaged you in the chat. I didn't want to cut you off. And then you were being so animated that it was making me laugh because I had no idea what you were saying.
All right, I'll edit that out. But for those of you that don't know what the heck's going on, because obviously I'll edit that out, is I just gave this whole spiel about this challenge, and I was muted from the last time I drank water.
I didn't catch one word of it.
All right. Well, the last thing about the challenge that I think I like. Okay. Here's what I said. Don't
Give
get
me
me
the gist
wrong.
of it.
Don't get me wrong. The challenge was fantastic, but I think it was a lot of cardio. I miss the full body weight workout that I used to do, like lifting weights, doing squats, push-ups, jumping jacks, all that, including yoga and stretching. Where like now, because of the challenge, all I've been doing is just going out hitting 10,000 steps and then just hitting that as and counting that as my workout, right? So the other day, I moved my 15-pound weights essentially because Nico was was trying to do something, so they were in his weight, and I lifted them up. I was like, oh, like I can't. These are too heavy.
Well, that's the practice, like we kind of talked about earlier, right?
So embarrassing, right?
You just have to keep working at things, otherwise you get rusty.
For
whether
sure,
it's presenting or working out, or it doesn't matter.
For sure, but like this, the 10,000 step challenge for me, it's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's usually like 7K of just straight walking, which is awesome too, because I get to listen to music throughout my entire walk. I love it, but I'm excited for the challenge to end, because I do miss doing the strength training at home and the body weight workouts that I used to do, right, when I was first losing weight.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny.
I can agree with you on that. So actually, the part of the reason why I've been doing more cardio-based things is because I kind of injured my wrist. I actually had an ultrasound for it yesterday, which is great. Hopefully, I should hear back the results. So I messaged my family to let them know, and my sister was asking about it, and so she called me out. Actually, she said that's great about the ultrasound, but I'm listening to your podcast. And she's like, I want to get a few things straight. So I feel like I should bring them up and set the record straight.
Here we go.
In a podcast in the past, I said that I had to spend my birthday in the hospital while she had her appendix out. Apparently, I was mistaken. Yeah, apparently it was my dad's birthday, which is 15 days after mine. I want to see the release date, because I have a feeling it was my birthday, but I'm not gonna. She's probably right. And then I don't know. It was April. I remember just being a little annoyed at the timing of it. But I apologize if I am wrong. And then the other story was apparently she broke her glasses. Mm-hmm. She says it was at my cousin's house, and I thought she broke them at school. Obviously, she would know, and I was dead wrong on that one. So to my sister, I apologize. I'll get the record straight there. Just set the record straight there.
Good for you for owning up to that. And of course,
to any other stories
under the bus on the episode.
Well, yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean to throw her under the bus.
Of course.
Just on the story the way I thought it went down, but it was many moons ago, as I am now 33.
Hey, you know what? That's okay, because this story makes great content. And that's the name of the game in the podcasting world. But good for you for owning up to that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and to any stories I get wrong along the way, you can totally call me out for it. This is my memory of them. That's so that's what's kind of cool too, when when you're at a fireplace with your buddies or whatever, and you hear stories back. There are stories where I wasn't even there, but I hear you and our friends talk about it, and I feel like I was there somehow, or everyone has their own version of how it went down. So, although in this case I was wrong, but it is funny to hear a story kind of come together through 3 or 4 different tales of the same event.
Of course,
and I missed that, honestly. With the last year, looking forward to, as dumb as it is, just hashing out the same memories with the same people that we always have.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say would be next for us after this challenge? Are you looking at doing another one or taking a break and just kind of
Um,
continuing with your app?
I think work's kind of picking up in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right now too, in terms of a more personal thing. I was trying to do 6 hours of poker study a week. Uh, Spring is very, very busy for online poker. So it's not really practical to be like now is the time to be using the knowledge as opposed to stocking up on it, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would just be a break to maybe take some time and not be forced into certain things. I enjoyed the month very much, but you know, I don't really worry about backsliding or not doing it anyways. I feel like the goals that I had were fun ones, but challenging to make sure I was doing the things that I want. And the month doesn't go by, and it's like I didn't do anything at all. I didn't accomplish anything.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think the great thing about this challenge that we did was it really kickstarted getting back into working out because I'll be honest with you, come February and March, I was hitting some seasonal depression, man, where like I wasn't even working out, felt like crap, and this challenge has really stepped forward and just got me over that hump. So I feel like even after this challenge is done, I maybe I wouldn't want to do one right now because I
Mhm.
want to get back into daily body weight exercises and strength training, which is what I usually do. So yeah, I mean we can just bypass this month, man, and just see how we do, and if another one comes up later on in the year, we'll take it as it comes, you know.
What's your number at for this year for workouts? You know, if I
That's a good question. I'll tell you in just a
because
second
I'm
here. Let's
pretty
take a
sure
look.
today will be my 71st 71st day I've worked out in 2021 out of
80,
103 days this year.
103 days. 82,
82. So that's great. Like
82. Yeah.
you're rocking an 80%. Like you said, you didn't really work out much. You're still doing 80%. I'm still doing, I'm over 70. Actually, it'd be under, but I didn't really want to do too many days. I know you and the other guys go a little bit harder than me, but it's still nice to see that that percentage is up. So even though you think that you were slow and you're looking forward to getting back into it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you take one day off every five. That's nothing. Like your
100%.
body
Yeah.
needs it anyway at some point, right?
All
Yeah,
right. So we got 15 minutes left of our free hour of Riverside FM. I wanted to end it with something that I found on Reddit, which is a 7 rules of life, which it was really cool. I really enjoy this. Can you see this, Jim?
I can, yes. And I
All
can
right,
hear you
perfect.
as well, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
7 rules of life. Number 1, let it go. Never ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. Number 2, ignore them. Don't listen to other people. Live a life that's empowering to you. Number 3, give it time. Time heals everything. And number 4, don't compare. The only person you should try to beat is the person you were yesterday. Number 5, stay calm. It's okay not to have everything figured out. Know that in time, you'll get there. 6, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. And number 7, smile. Life is short. Enjoy it while you have it. Boom.
Great advice.
Saw that on the Get Motivated subreddit, and I thought it was a fantastic addition to the pod. You know, especially that last one. That one last one hits hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Don't take life too seriously. No one gets out alive.
yeah, that's another good line there.
One
Yeah,
of
those
my
are great.
favorites.
I love seeing stuff like that. I think it's especially when you take a break. If I see it at lunch or something and you have a stressful day or even after work, seeing kind of things like that brings it all back to perspective of I think perspective is such a huge thing. Usually it comes too late, but having it when you can, no matter when it is very important, to understand and gratitude, for where you are and how you got there and the people that helped you and you know, all the uh all the things that you have um in your life. it's just important to be grateful for those things and appreciate, um, especially the people that you have around you. I think is the most
Hmm.
important thing. I just like my advice to anybody ever, and this is the most important thing I've always that I've learned in my life is just not to take any person or anything for granted. Day by day is so easy and it just passes. But that's a day that, I got to talk to you or I got to talk to friends or I spent with my wife and I'm grateful for that. So those are the types of things that I love to read about and just reiterate that that's what makes me happy.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Yeah, I would have to agree with you for sure.
Um,
All right. Well, that has been episode 15 of Crushing Through Life. Thank you so much for listening to us, everyone around the world. We
Thank
do
you very much.
appreciate every single one of you. For those that are listening, please check us out at anchor.fm/crushing through life. You can send us a voice note that can be featured into the podcast or send us an direct message, DM us, slide into our DMs at
Yeah, hit us up.
on Instagram, crushing through life. All right, guys, thank you. Take care and have a great day.
Pretty sure you were muted for all of that.